drop a heart, me, and a rose, just to keep it consistent, as opposed to just trying to toss as many roses and heart me's as possible. I'm waiting for Irish to get here. Just a moment. He'll be here shortly. I don't know how I feel about the live. I'm a viewer just as you are. I offered my space to have this spoken about. I don't know what you guys are talking about. Irish is never late. We're just all early. See, look, it says 8 minutes. I didn't change it just now. Our clocks are all fast. Just remember that. How is this song sad? It's soothing. What are you talking about? Oh, it makes you sad. It makes you sad. Okay. Thank you, everyone, for jumping in here. Just remember to continue to tap that screen, get those likes up. Every so often, I don't need a bombardment of heart, me's, and roses, but every so often, if you drop one at a time, that would be great. That will definitely help the live. You're gonna have us in your ear holes, Luna. Yeah, can somebody give me a link to an item on the TikTok shop? Maybe a watch or something for Irish. Yeah, this one's a doozy. So It starts. It starts when it starts. This one's a big deal here. So. Guys, thank you very much for your patience. Now I'm starting to sound like I'm at the airport. We thank you and appreciate you for your patience. Please make sure to pick up your complimentary peanuts. I don't think I have the mic for ASMR. I don't think so. Yeah, things do change on the fly. I do agree with that, Ocelot. Sure, things do change. So, but we're also, I mean, you know, we're early. Look, there's 3 minutes to go before he gets here, before it starts. So. And there is a time zone difference, okay? You guys have to remember that even though it's 5 o'clock here for me, it's only 7:45 for him, so. That's how time zones work, right? Oh, this is on my computer, Tor. If you would direct your attention to the upper right hand corner of the screen, just right above there, I'll show you a magic trick. Ready? Watch. Ready? 3, 2, 1. Time. I added some time on there. So, just in case. Just in case. Okay, so I think I have to, guys, I appreciate the gifts. Hold on, let me see. I think I can reset the live goal. As of right now, it's not necessary. Let's see. What's up, Odin?
Oh, I was just coming up to wait. You can keep the music going.
Oh, I'm not. Is the music off for you? Because I can hear it.
Early.
Oh, you know what? You probably can't hear it.
Oh. Oh, I can't.
Yeah, you can.
Panel.
No, yeah,
That's
on the
cool.
panel. Yeah, I don't have it set up right where you can hear the background.
Interesting.
let's see. But can you guys hear Odin clearly? Let's reset the live goal. Set up
Sweet. I actually have audio quality for once.
Why can't I set it higher than that? I can't. Huh. I'm not sure what you mean by team, whoever you were, TD, but I'm trying to figure out. On the computer, it's a little bit different setting your goals.
Wait, are you doing this from your lap or your computer?
Yes, that's why you can get the timer. Oh, okay, we finally got it here.
Y'all are too fancy.
Okay.
Hey guys, really sorry. This time I had everything ready. The issue was more so transferring them from the phone over to the iPad. So sorry about that.
No worries. You made it on time. Look, I mean, the timer is just 8 seconds left, so it's perfect timing.
Oh, so Ernesto messaged me saying, "Are you going to be on time?" And I was like, "Yeah, I'll be there at exactly 8 o'clock." And I guess you just automatically added 15 minutes on, which was obviously spot on.
Well, I added 10 minutes, then added an additional 5.
Okay, that tracks.
So,
So before we do begin, what I am going to say is to mods in here, mods, in this specific context, here's a few things. And Ernesto, you've got enough mods for today, do you?
yeah,
Can you make sure I'm a mod on this one? I'm not sure if I am
I'll
or
add
not.
you.
Okay. So to all the mods in here, a couple of things I want you to do. The first thing is very, very, very regular updates. Warning people, say trigger warning, and then use the word CSAM, but be very careful not to use words that could trigger, the algorithm. But do give people adequate warning that they're going to be hearing very sensitive information that will be highly triggering. And those sort of like updates should be coming out every couple of minutes in the comments. So please let people know of that. The other thing is while I want as many people to hear what's going to be happening about both Noah and Bobby, I also want to protect the live. And so to the extent you get the sense anyone in here may be reporting, don't even entertain it. Just BLOCK them straight away and just don't worry about it.
Irish, comment in the chat really quick so I can mod you.
And is there any other things? Yeah, I just did. Is there anything else we should tell the mods about?
The mods that I've already empowered, they do know what to look out for besides what you mentioned. So
There might be some people that some people find unsavory in here. Try not to like immediately block those people, I guess, unless they're doing something out of pocket.
So what Odin's talking about is not someone who you guys would ordinarily be considering. What Odin's pointing out is that when it comes to exposing P-Tritios, lots of different platforms care about this, even people who are on the right. And so if you see people who are on the right come in because they want to get the information, I'd rather the information get out there, but don't give them the option to spread any sort of like bigotry in the comments, obviously. So with that said, Ernesto, frankly, since you have your camera on, it's a little bit more engaging. I think a background helps.
yeah, I'm gonna adjust it and adjust the backdrop altogether. So,
Okay.
but I'll place my.
Go.
I will do that. I'll
Okay,
add
let
what we need.
me grab. Yeah, let me make sure I'm giving you the right one. Hold on one sec. Okay, so I just tagged you in which one it's going to be.
Yep.
All right, we'll start with that one. And I will say at the onset, and I don't know if you want to. Shit, I didn't think we'd be going full screen here.
We can side by side.
Yeah, let's do side by side. And you can make it, I think, so it's like 4 boxes, so it's not like totally side by side.
Let's see.
If you have something that you would prefer me have on my background too, send that to me.
No, that one never works.
This is the you wanted.
Oh,
Yeah, if you
they're
do
yelling
the
at
side.
you to reset your goal.
Okay, I'll do that.
Yeah,
right now,
guys,
Prince.
give us 1 sec.
Yeah.
Let's just figure this out first.
Let's see.
No,
Yeah,
I
that's
feel
too
like
much.
that side one definitely creates issues.
As far as imaging issues.
Yeah,
Or-
it cuts off on the left-hand side
Well,
for
if
some
that's
devices.
the case, I can always look. I can always do this.
Yeah, do fixed.
I
Do
can
fixed-
fix. Yeah,
do
I'll
fixed
do
grid.
I'll do the other one, the 4x4, or with the 4 on the side. This one here is just you have a larger screen, and that way I can bounce back and forth, because that one's the right size.
No. Yeah, I know,
But then
but the problem.
I'll adjust because I'm
Oh
having
yeah,
it on my
perfect.
phone as well.
Yeah, shrink it. Yeah, shrink it. Perfect. And so now it's cut off on the right, at least for me.
Okay, it's cut off on the right for you, but not for everyone else. Can
Okay,
everybody confirm?
everyone. Yeah, can you move it up higher?
Yep.
Okay, guys, can everyone tell me? Can you see that clearly? Does anyone not see it clearly?
It's clear for
I
us
just noticed
by
Marcel,
Noel.
to be honest with you.
Good for me, except for the comments. That's perfect for everyone. Okay, perfect. Everyone is saying perfect.
Okay, great. So before we begin, what I will say is very quickly, I do a number of things on TikTok. I do call out lives, as I'm sure you guys know, but I also do regular debates and I also do other types of lives. I'm not doing any more call out lives moving forward. I'll talk about that afterwards when I do a decompress live after all of this. I may do follow-up call-out lives on people who I've already called out because I may have the information on them. But this is the last time I'm accepting new people to go after. And I'll be very honest, a large reason for that is the guy on the right-hand side. And Odin and I are going to talk about it, but I'm not lying or exaggerating when I say this specific guy on the right-hand side broke a few of us. It was one of the most disturbing things we've helped out with. And I think, for me anyway, I'm tapping out. I can't keep doing these investigations and reading the sort of things that I'm reading, if that makes sense. So this will be my final new call out live moving forward. With that said, hang on a second. I'm just getting a DM. Hold on. Okay, great. And for anyone who has DMs with me, can you guys please be considerate and don't DM me while I'm live unless it's like urgent. Okay, with that said, let's start with Odin because he's really the start of this story. We're going to spend about 45 minutes to an hour on Noah Rogers on the right. And then we're going to be talking about Bobby G on the left. And we're going to have a special guest appearance by Marcel, the guy who's in the middle. And with that said, Odin, I'll hand over to you.
Yeah, so really, I don't know how to start this. Like, the guy on the right's name is Noah Rogers. He went on this site by the name of Ezra Debates, Ezra Beats, what was it, Modern Night. It, the first time that I met this guy, he hit me with a bunch of just random anti-Semitic stuff. Made some very creepy comments about women, and this was on someone's live named Go On. And I'm sure a lot of people are familiar with Go On. This person then, I don't know, said that they were going to do some stuff to me personally, like dox me, try to find me. I had someone reach out to me. This person proceeded to show me DMs from Ezra. Noah Rogers. I don't know why I'm still calling him Ezra. And they were some of the most disturbing things I have ever seen in my life. I lost a good deal of sleep going through some of these messages and looking at the messages that they were sending back and forth were grotesque. And I think one of the things that was perhaps most grotesque to me and was really fucking with me is the fact that I was not the first person that this individual had told this to. This individual had brought this to the attention of other people in Noah's community, people that hung out with Noah, and they did nothing. They dismissed her as crazy and didn't look any further. They were like, fuck this person. We fuck with Noah. We like Noah. And they just automatically disregarded her. They took the word of Noah and some of Noah's friends saying that she was crazy to dismiss everything that she was saying. In spite of just an insane amount of evidence. That quite frankly, I don't understand how police have ignored this. But that's another, I'm sure Irish will get into that more because it has been months waiting for them. But yeah, Noah runs in debate spaces with people like Hypocrite, Go On, Ashy Poo, Lucario. And really, this is not the first P3DO that I've found from groups like this. It's really not. It's disturbing how many people from just Go On's circle that have been exposed as P3DOs. It's honestly disturbing. And that's not to say that Go On himself or people like Go On, like Hypocrite or like Ashy Poo or, some of these other debate spaces. It's not to say that those people are also P3DOs or grapists or just in general fucking predators, right? But it's kind of like what I was telling Irish earlier. When you play devil's advocate long enough, eventually the devil's going to think you're his fucking advocate. These people create safe spaces for people like Noah Rogers who will go in and make friends that will defend him in the face of shit where there is just a preponderance of evidence
Just a heads
of him
up,
blatantly.
Odin, just a heads up. There is a new TikTok rule going around that they are targeting language. They're really focusing on language right now, so let's try to keep it as clean as possible.
Oh, like no cursing?
Yes.
Oh my god, you sound like my HR department. Okay. Can I say like frick? I'm gonna sound like a 13-year-old.
Yeah.
All right. So, yeah. When this person came to me, though, they had already told, I want to say, 3 other people that ran these spaces. They had told Go On, and this was on the back of Go On defending someone by the name of Reckham93, who, if we're mutuals, my account's now private, but if we're mutuals, you can go through some of my videos. Reckham93 is another P3DO. A P3DO that was grooming a woman in Go On space. A woman who had explicitly told him that she had had bad experience with these kinds of people in her past, and that it was a hard line for her because she had kids. She wanted nothing to do with somebody. No, I'm not talking about Irish. That's crazy. I'm talking about Noah Rogers, the individual on the right. Uh, and he defended Reckham. He wasn't the only person. And when I say that they defended him, what I mean is they do things where it's like, well, we have to hear this person out. And my issue with this is socially. I'm not talking about the legal system. None of you guys are judges or lawyers that I know of, and you're certainly not judges and lawyers on TikTok. My issue with this is when you engage with somebody that has these accusations against them, even in the face of proof, right? I literally pulled up this individual's background check, and they were still calling the reality of that into question, right? When you hear these people out with the intent of making them innocent, when you hear them out with the intent of excusing their behavior, you are lighting a beacon for other people like them to know that they are safe and accepted in your space. And I can't stress enough how dangerous that is. There's another individual that ran in men's rights activist spaces, right? Lied, said that he was innocent. Lied, said that, he was exonerated. This individual was hunting and stalking one of the women from within that group of men's rights activists. So not only when you do these things and you do not monitor your space and the messaging that you send out and the way that you talk about things, you have to understand that you are creating a space where people like this feel safe to exist, feel safe to call you a friend. Noah, wait, what are you asking what Noah was doing? Noah was planning on, and Irish will have these receipts.
Just totally ignore the comments. The comments are going to be people who are coming in and out. And guys, this is like a movie. If you walk in 10 minutes, don't be the asshole who says what's going on. Just don't be that guy. Odin, I've just learned, ignore the comments. Totally ignore the comments.
Gotcha. I just want to be clear. Like, I don't know. It seems like people were confused that I was talking about you or something. But no. Noah Rogers, the individual on the right, is a P3DO. He is a P3DO that was actively planning on engaging in the trafficking of people under the age of 18, people under the age of 10. Not only was he planning on engaging in that activity, there were detailed plans on how to engage in that kind of trafficking. And I don't know if I can say trafficking. I guess it's like, yeah. The issue with this is that people knew that he was doing this. And I think that some of the reason is people didn't speak out is because they were afraid of Noah. I have seen several DMs from people that were friends with Noah, and he had threatened to release their information, right? Or they were scared that he was going to release their information. And that was a big reason that people, I believe, defended Noah and didn't want to talk about him and still accepted him in their spaces. But
should I? Oh,
I mean, it's, yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
No, I was going to say, let me know when you want me to jump in.
You can jump in whenever. You have most of the receipts. I have most of mine are on a flash drive from like the 2-hour call that we were on with that individual.
Yeah, so I'll give some more context here. Ernesto, can you give us the traditional box, the one that we usually use in Max Live?
The double?
Yeah, and make me half screen. Make me full screen on the left-hand side, and you two take up the right.
You got it.
Guys, let me give you the sort of order of operations. No.
No, I know. I'm just.
Okay. So what I want to talk about is what Odin was trying to contextualize is talking about the fact that Odin hangs out in spaces where he knows that there's a lot of degenerates and a lot of dangerous people, and that these people are welcomed into those spaces due to the fact that people like to play devil's advocate. They like to come up with wild scenarios that seem completely unhinged, to the point that when they hear other people talking about things that they've done, they don't believe those people are doing those harmful things. And when you have spaces where the discourse is unhinged, unhealthy, talking about horrible, disgusting, harmful things, you are going to be attracting predators. And what Odin has always done is when he finds someone like that, he usually comes to me. And when I find someone like that, I go to him. And what we try our best to do then is investigate these people. And given, the outcome of whatever the investigation is, turn them over to the police as necessary. And so Odin, in this case, oh, can you give me full mod power so I can big screen myself? So Odin, in this case, found this woman, and whose space was she in again?
I think that they used to be in Go On Space. They got run out of Go On Space, but they saw me, I think, passing through a live where I was in there, and then
Okay,
reached out to me based on the video I did about Reckham.
got it. Okay, Ernesto, are you able to make it so that you guys? I think you're able to make it so there's only tree boxes.
No,
That
not on the computer. And I didn't
yeah.
realize that.
Oh, not on the computer. Okay, hold on. Let me. Okay, so what I'll say is that when I got introduced to this, what Odin did was Odin introduced me to the woman. The woman in question was someone who was dating Noah. Now, what does dating mean? I don't really know, but they were talking on a very regular basis. They had not met up in real life, but they were very connected. And she came to us and said that, oh, you know what? Before I actually start this, mods, I'm going to ask another request. Can everyone in the comments who are mods give TLDRs and let people know? Simply say we're exposing Noah Rogers for, and then fill in blank. Give some TLDRs so the people coming in aren't annoying us. So, Noah, what we learned from this woman was that Noah had been slowly escalating the type of rhetoric that he was engaged in with her specifically, and talking about things involving MINORs on a pretty regular basis, and that his rhetoric seemed to have been flipping from casual interest to obsession to actively planning to do things. And we ended up, Ernesto, could you mute?
It's coming in.
Sorry,
Okay, no, it's gone.
very loud, yeah. So we ended up investigating, that's so much better. We ended up investigating Noah, and I can say that I have at this point, I've helped about 3 dozen women report their grapes. I've reported several dozen PDFs at this point to the cops. I can say without question that Noah is the most disturbing person that I have ever reported by a very wide margin. And I think the reason why it probably feels like that is because this was the very first time we had what I would call a cooperating witness. It's very rare that you have a person who's partnered with a P-Treadio who also talks about P-Treadio stuff come to you and give you open access to what they were doing. And I read hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of screenshots of the conversations between Noah and his partner, the woman who came to us for help on this. And it was scary. It was deeply disturbing, deeply dark. And I think Odin and I both left believing that this person will harm someone in the future. And once we got all of this evidence, we learned very quickly that, there was multiple different devices, or pardon me, social media platforms. There was Discord, there was WhatsApp, there was text message, And we realized that a lot of this evidence could be deleted very quickly. So what we did was I spoke to the cooperating witness multiple times, and I got a recording of all the important evidence before Noah could delete it. And this is part of the process we normally do. And once I got all that evidence, I organized it, structured it in a way that was easy for the police to be able to digest it. And then I contacted the police. And what was probably the most disturbing thing about all of this was not simply learning what Noah had done, but it's been spending the past 6 months getting the police to do anything. And to my knowledge, to this day, nothing has been done. Now, we reported this in November, or I reported this in November. And I can firstly say that the reporting was some of the most, jumping through hoops I've ever had to go through. We got to a point where we had someone in Calgary or Toronto, I can't remember, where we had them positioned to go in and report on my behalf because they wanted a physical person showing up. Then they wouldn't accept that. We had to do a police report in a different country in order to then have that transferred over to Canada. And it was a mess. It was an absolute mess. But once we finally got the police report formally filed with the Calgary police, we thought they'd run with this. The evidence was overwhelming. And I have spent the past 6 months harassing them over and over again, and I have not been able to talk to you all due to the fact that I was waiting for the Calgary police to get a warrant to get access to Noah Rogers' laptops. And so I held off for 1 month. I held off for 2 months. I held off for 3 months, constantly calling for an update for confirmation that they'd finally gotten it. And I was comfortable waiting because Noah was no longer on TikTok. He was scared away once he learned that I was looking into him and Odin was looking into him. But we just found out that Noah is back on TikTok and I can no longer wait. And so I informed the police that I am doing this today, and they were not able to provide any reassurance that this person has been, properly handled by the police. And so I'm asking you guys for help. And there are screenshots I could show, and I'm not sure I will, but I thought the most effective way of showing you guys what this person did, and also to give you some insight in terms of what happens offline, is to just show you guys what is it exactly that we submitted to the cops. And so that's what I'm going to do right now. I'm going to show you my actual communications with the police officer, trying to get them to care, and failing miserably, genuinely failing miserably is how it feels to me anyway. Let me flip this around. Here is one of my earliest messages to the officers. And I'm putting all this information out there. The officer's name, I'm putting the report number, I'm giving you the police station so you all can actually follow up. And I'm going to read to you what is really, as I thought about it later, the perfect summary of what happened. Hello, Officer Peck. We spoke 2 days ago regarding event number 244-61290, which pertains to a child pornography and molestation case initiated by, fill-in name, against Mr. Noah Rogers, male 27, Calgary, and which requires the urgent issuance of an emergency warrant and to secure a laptop for Mr. Rogers that we understand will likely be destroyed in the next couple of days. This now is going to be the next page. As a reminder, this case involved claims that Mr. Rogers admitted to sexually assaulting no less than 3 minors. And to be clear, I explained to the officers in detail all the information we had about those 3 victims, when it happened, what were the circumstances involving it. But Noah admitted to this woman no less than 3 occasions when he molested children. So, as a reminder, the case involves claims that Mr. Rogers admitted to sexually assaulting no less than 3 minors, and that using text messages, as well as messaging apps such as Discord and Google Voice, number one, Mr. Rogers sent, let's just say, Sarah, AI images and original written stories evidencing and advocating for graphic schmexual relations with a Mr. Rogers accessed child blank involving blank as young as 2 years of age via the dark web, and that's a quote from Noah, using his secondary hacking computer, and shared these images with Sarah using a screen sharing URL. Number three, Mr. Rogers sent Sarah audio files of child blank via Discord direct messaging app. And number four, Mr. Rogers plotted and conspired to get Sarah to get pregnant so that he and Sarah could use their baby as a blank and then sell the baby on the black market. Now, I spoke to a number of people about whether, in what detail we should get into on this live. And I'll be honest with you, I understand that some people may say this is inappropriate to share this sort of information and that this is triggering. But respectfully, these people are all around you. These people are all over TikTok. These people are not just they're not just saying things to be outrageous. If you're able to say these things out loud, you're likely doing them in person. And I thought it was really important to share the actual details of what actually happened. So it wasn't just that he was creating AI images and writing graphic stories. It wasn't just that he was accessing child porn. It wasn't just that he was sending it. He was plotting with Sarah. And I'll tell you, I'll be very clear. Odin, can you mute for just a moment?
Oh,
I'll be very clear as to what their plan was. Their plan was, reading their text messages, was that they would get Sarah pregnant and that they would live off grid and that they would have the baby off grid. And that way the government would never learn about the baby, and that they would use the baby as that for the first 2 to 3 years. And after the first 2 to 3 years, the baby would no longer be of use to them. So they looked into, in advance, selling the child once it hit its expiration. Now, I continued and I said, as we have discussed, I believe an emergency warrant is required to secure Mr. Rogers' laptops. Please note that he has 2 laptops and the activity likely took place on his hacking laptop. I use this term of art only because that is what his father uses to refer to that laptop, because I expected the police to follow up with the father in order for the father to hand over the laptop. As further discussed, attached is a 4-minute video that includes screenshots of the key messages exchanged between Mr. Rogers and Sarah via text, Discord, and Google Voice, which evidence the 4 allegations specified in the paragraph above. This video is submitted as evidence to support the issuance of an emergency warrant and were secured so as to ensure some evidence is preserved in the event Mr. Rogers destroys his laptop and or online messaging accounts. In addition to evidencing the 4 allegations specified above, these screenshots demonstrate that, number one, Mr. Rogers believed there should be no minimum age of consent pertaining to schmex. Number two, Mr. Rogers knew his actions were illegal because in one message, Mr. Rogers discusses the legal risks of his actions and states that he would take any punishment that resulted from his actions. Number three, Mr. Rogers attempted to cover up his crimes by directing Sarah to delete any damning messages. Number four, Mr. Rogers also demonstrated repeated intent to unalive and otherwise physically harm people, including his own parents. And this was not, I could. He had detailed plans. He had detailed plans on how to unalive his own parents. Mr. Rogers also demonstrated intent to have his dogs copulate with, I'll say it again, Mr. Rogers demonstrated intent to have his own dogs copulate with blank that he planned to have with Sarah, and Mr. Rogers' P3DO actions took place at home and at the workplace Mr. Rogers shares with his father, and Mr. Rogers' father was notified of his son's P3DO actions. Then, please do not hesitate to reach out via email address should you require any follow-up. Also, for convenience, please note I provided the details of Mr. Rogers and Sarah's address and other contact information. This is me providing Sarah's information. This is me providing Noah's information. This is me providing Noah's father's information, including address, phone number, full legal name, full legal name, full legal name. Literally nothing else required. Both James and Noah, that's the father, work at a company called Blank Sales and Rentals in Calgary, which some of the illegal activities took place in. And what I'm talking about here is Noah, while he was working with his father, James, he would access the dark web and screen share images of the children with Sarah while he was at work. Now, the only reason I have this covered up is to protect against any of you guys finding the wrong store. That is me not protecting these guys. That's me protecting any other company with that name. And this was me then following up a day later. Hi, Officer Peck, I'm resending this email. Please see below. And in here, I had the 4-minute video, but also like hundreds of screenshots as well. It's a smart idea to have a condensed set of key messages in order to get the officers to pay attention. And then I gave them all the information via pCloud. And the officer confirms they got it. I counted, and I have contacted the Calgary police. I've called the Calgary police on no less than 73 different occasions in the past 6 months. 73. I also contacted the other police department involved, and I contacted them via email and via calling several dozen times. And to my knowledge, nothing has happened yet, which blows my mind. And so I'm going to repeat again that, let me just put this up again, one moment. I'm going to repeat again that this guy here, what the fuck is that? That is not what I expected. Sorry. Oh, this is genuinely starting to piss me off. Okay.
All right, I just got a schmilation. Should I restart it?
Yeah. Guys, we're going to restart. Come back because it's going to get more interesting. I'm right back. We're going to restart.